All right, guys, we got Brendan here. Please raise your hand if you have questions for Brendan. Ben, start us off.
Hey, Brendan. Earlier this month, you were getting some pad work in with a hero of yours, Ricky Hatton. What was that experience like getting some time in with him?
Yeah, great. I grew up on Ricky Hatton, Ricky the Hitman Hatton. Brought massive crowds out to Vegas when we were younger. And he's an inspiration to every fighter in Manchester. He's a proper legend and a great fella. So it was good to spend the day with him.
Now, obviously, late opponent change. That doesn't faze you at all, though, right?
Listen, we entered a tournament. I got prepared for every style anyway. So it is what it is at this point.
Last one from me, Brendan. If Boston Salmon was here right in front of you, what would you say to him?
Nah, nothing. Shit happens, bro. Like, you know, the guy's injured, is what it is. We move forward and we fight whoever they put in front of us.
Love it. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Max.
How you doing, Brendan? This is Max Going from the Going Live Network. Thanks so much for taking the time. Just had a quick question about the late minute replacement. Obviously, you do have a new opponent. What do you think about your opponent, and what do you think you have to neutralize to get the victory?
To be fair, the guy's quite similar. I'm lucky in that aspect. I trained for a southpaw for 7 weeks, and luckily the guy's a southpaw. I just want to say a massive thank you to PFL and everybody, all the back staff, for finding someone on this short notice. And yeah, and just a massive appreciation to them because I've trained so hard for this fight and I'm so glad I get to perform.
Thanks so much, Brendan. I appreciate it and good luck.
Thanks.
Dan.
Hey, Brendan, just one last thing about the opponent change. Are you a person that watches a lot of tape preparing for fights, or is that something you let your coaches do?
Yeah, we watched this guy. We watched him. We watched him a few times, watched a few fights. Guy's tough, man. This is his biggest chance of his life. He's come in and he's going to fucking give it everything he's got. And, you know, this is a tough fight for me. And it's very difficult when you have a last minute change and somebody comes in. All the pressure's on Brendan. London's next. You know, there's so much pressure on me. He's got nothing to lose. Everyone thinks he's going to lose anyway. So for me, pressure's on me, carrying a big burden, but I'm ready for it. This is what champions are made of.
With everyone in the featherweight division kind of deadlocked at 3 points, are you changing your approach at all, knowing the bonus points will go a very long way?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's locked up at 3. It's a very bizarre situation, and everybody's quite favourable in the matchups that they've got. So going to need to scramble some points out of somewhere, aren't we?
Definitely. And if you see yourself getting a quick 6, how do you think you get it done?
I mean, this guy looks like he's got a concrete head, so maybe a submission, who knows?
Definitely. Thank you.
No worries.
Mike Owens.
Hello, Brendan. Mike Owens here.
Yes, Mikey, lad.
How are things? How was the flight?
Yeah, well, bad, pretty sound, mate. Am I doing another one with you privately soon?
Yeah, you would love to, mate. Yeah, whenever you're ready. But I just wanted to ask very quickly, because last time we spoke, I asked you about the PFL shows coming up, and your answer, if you remember, was no comment in true Northwest fashion. Talk to me a little bit now they're announced. Talk to me a little bit about how you're feeling, the tantalising thought of Brendan Loughnane homecoming in London.
Mate, I'm glad you brought that up because you was actually there. So let me give you a backstory to what Mike's talking about. We were supposed to do an interview and we got on Zoom together and I was like, bro, my opponent's just pulled out. Like, I don't know what you want me to tell you. And he's like, oh, fuck. So then he was like, right, well, let's talk about it when you actually get a new one. So now we can talk about it, yeah. We finally got someone and we're good, we're ready to go.
What I mean is, if you get through this next round, your next fight's in London. So talk to me a little bit about, I know you don't want to look past the guy on Friday night, but talk to me about the fact that your next fight could potentially be on English soil.
Yeah, man. Wow. After being in the PFL for so long now, I'm flying over here so many times. It's just a exciting thought that I only have to go 2 hours down the road and they all have to fly over to me and deal with the jet lags and deal with the bullshit traveling now. So yeah, let's do it.
Brilliant, mate. Speak soon.
Cheers, Mike.
All right. Anyone else have questions for Brendan? Why we still have him? All right, I'm going to read a question to you, Brendan. Josan Montesino from LLO and JMC Productions asks, we saw you training and having fun with Ricky Hatton. What feels like to be with a legend like him?
Great, man. I feel like we're both the same person. He's making a comeback. He's fighting again 2 weeks, I think. And we were just talking about old times. We were talking about when he used to sell out all the Manchester City stadiums and took 40,000 Manx over to Vegas when he fought Mayweather, talking about the Pacquiao fight. And I'm just a younger version of him by the looks of it. So yeah, it was an honor.
Ben Davis.
Hey, Brendan, back again. I was curious, have you watched Ted Lasso? And if you have, what are your thoughts on it?
Have I watched who?
Ted Lasso, the Apple TV show with Jason Sudeikis.
No.
Oh, it's a soccer show. You should give it a watch sometime.
Well, that was super random. But yeah, no worries. What the fuck?
All right, guys. Any more questions for Brendan? Why we still have him? Going once, twice. All right.
So-
Thank you. Thank you so much, Brendan. Right next door, man. All right, guys. We got Ante. Please raise your hand if you have questions for Ante. All right, cool. If you want to just be right here. All right, Ben, start us off.
Hey, Ante, your wife, Lucy, has been a massive pillar of support for you. What does she mean to you and your career?
Tvoja žena, ona je velika support u tvojoj karijeru. Šta imaš da kažeš za to?
Pa svakako žena je najveća podrška i ona mi najviše pomaže oko svega što god treba, znači što se tiče prehrane i što se tiče svega, ona se bavi tim i osigurava mi da mi je lakše trenirati.
She's there to support him and she's his backbone and without her, you know, što si rekao to za ne?
Da mi osigurava da mi je lakše trenirati, samo se fokusira na trening.
She makes his life easy so that way he can just focus on his training.
I love it. Ante, can you describe your relationship with Crow Cop and how he's shaped your approach to fighting?
Kakav je tvoj relationship sa Crow Copom? I šta ti pomoglo za?
Pa meni je to, ja sam s njime počeo trenirati kao mlad borac i to mi je dalo puno samopouzdanja i puno iskustva. Znači on ima preiskusan je i njegov savjet svaki zlata.
You started training with him at such a young early age and was able to learn a lot from Crow Cop growing up. So he's got a lot of his techniques and everything.
Mislim kad navikneš na njegove udarce da nema niko tvrđi i jači od njega, tako da sve iza njega.
You learn to hit really hard with Crow Cop style, just that hitting hard as a Croatian.
Love it. And last one for me, Ante, your only PFL loss is to Bruno Cappelozza on 2 occasions. With wins here, you both could be facing each other again. What have you learned in your losses, and do you feel confident that you can beat him in a third matchup?
Ti si samo izgubio proti onaj champion i što si naučio da to tuču i misliš da možeš pobijediti proti njega ako se opet učiti?
Pa jako poštujem Bruna kao borca, ali jedva čekam se opet boriti s njime i mislim da ga mogu pobijediti. Ove godine sam puno bolji, dosta sam napredovao, jedva čekam borbu protiv njega.
He's changed up a lot of stuff in his game plan and he's very confident that he could beat the PFL champion, the guy that he lost to.
Love it. Best of luck, Ante.
He does respect him. He does respect him, but he does believe that he can beat him in a rematch.
Max.
How you doing? This is Max going from the Going Live Network. Just had a few questions for you. Obviously, a new opponent in Sheldon Graves. When did you find out about the new replacement, and how do you prepare for a brand new fighter so close to fight night?
Pa fokusiram se samo na sebe I na moju spremu, tako da ko je protivnik uopće nije bitno.
He's just focused on himself. He knows what he's going to do. It doesn't matter who the opponent is. The game plan is the same.
And then just a follow up for that one, your opponent hasn't fought in nearly 3 years. Are you expecting him to be able to handle your pressure in his first fight back?
Tvoj onaj borac nije se tukao za 3 godine. Što misliš o to?
Pa mislim da je bila teška situacija općenito u svijetu, da nije bilo borba, tako da vjerojatno je trenirao ako je prihvatio meč, tako da ne znam. Mene to ne zanima, ima svoj posao I ima da ga odradim.
He doesn't care if he hasn't fought in 3 years. He's just going to go out there and do his job.
And then one last one for me, a win here and you'll be securing a playoff spot for this season. Does it add any extra motivation when you're so close to that next round?
Could you repeat that question?
Sorry about that. A win here will secure a playoff spot. Does it add any extra motivation when you're so close to the next round?
Ako pobjediš ovu sad tuču, ti ćeš secure da ideš u playoffs. And then does it add motivation, you said?
Yeah.
You'll motivate da znaš ako pobjediš.
Meni je najveća motivacija da je publika zadovoljna I da nokautiram čovjeka.
His biggest motivation is to entertain the fans and give the fans a knockout.
Thanks so much for your time. Good luck this weekend.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dan.
Hey, Ante. Is there any aspect of your game that you didn't get to show off in your first regular season matchup this year that you're looking to put on display in this one?
Is it the previous season you said, or the?
I'm saying from the first fight. From the first fight this year.
Okay. Could you repeat again from the first fight? What was the question?
Yes, sir. Is there any aspect of your game that you'd like to put on display that you didn't get to show off in that first matchup?
Jel ima išta iz prve tuče što ti nisi mogao pokazati?
Pa mislim da sam odradio odličan meč, da sam pokazao koliko sam napredovao. Pa pokazao sam samo koliko sam napredovao I koliko sam bolji nego što sam bio lani.
Yeah, he's definitely showed his improvements in his first fight from the previous year. So he's just showing improvement.
Definitely. And how do you predict this one to finish? Do you think another right cross is coming?
Kako misliš da će ova borba završiti?
Pa mislim da će nokautira u drugoj rundi.
He thinks a second round knockout's going to happen.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. A question from Josan Montesino from LLO and JMC Productions. After an amazing KO, how do you feel mentally and emotionally coming into this fight?
Što si dobio knockout, to je prvu tuču. Kako misliš?
Pa osjećam se odlično, samopouzdanje mi je I fizički I psihički sam najbolji ikad I to je to.
He just feels physically strong and just physically prepared.
All right. Any more questions for Ante while we have him here? Going once. Gone. All right, cool. Thank you, Ante. Appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
Ante. Sorry. Ante.
You speak Russian too?
All right, guys, we got Bubba. He should be here in about 5 minutes. Thanks.
No, I don't have any. Definitely on the camp. You still in the black. So just everyone has those built in. So just take a peek.
Yeah. You want to wait for Dewey to start? Yes. Okay. So.
First one I ran into.
I was like, wait, you're not here.
And as soon as you're calling, I was like, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. I don't see her and I'm in the wrong place.
All right.
Yeah.
We're good. We're good.
What's overtime? The arena?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, it's pretty. Wait till you see it.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. It's pretty.
I'm waiting on Dewey Coop. I told him I be forgetting to tell him that I got little things like this because he be getting mad at me when he don't like beat it.
He likes them Instagram stories.
Yep. Not only that, sometimes I be scrapping without him. So he don't like
There we go.
yeah, he don't like me slapping folks when he's not around. So freaking hallway. Where you at? See? Sleeping on the job. Sleeping on the job. So, do y'all put this TV back and then take it everywhere y'all go?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I always see boxes on TV. I know they ain't buying TVs every time we get to see.
Every time we get there, brand new TV, bougie like that.
Yeah. Bougie. Can't give a brother an extra hotel
I
room.
can't use that TV again.
Yeah. Does it not have after you do what you do to it? Does it not have regular TV?
So it's a backdrop.
Why would you just give y'all posters?
Residences over time, blah, blah, blah. We'd have to change it every.
Besides that,
What if a game's on that I want to watch?
I bet like, oh yeah, we got fights.
75 inch.
Seven.
I request. Budget.
Space, yeah. Who doesn't like DMX always being there for you, but
It's not that they're trying. It's not that they're trying to do that. They just think that's the players. They just think that's period. What's up? And a lot of the guys will fuck up. They just don't. Yeah. They give us good rates though for extra rooms.
yeah. No, they hit me with the non-PFL price, and then PFL was like,
Right.
It's non-PFL prices.
Who would first of all who would stay here for that? I know I'm some prices. I was like,
I did. So I had my people's get me another room. I had Dominance and them get me another room.
Yeah.
And then they sent me they went to do my card and it declined. I was like, I got this. Yeah, the room's 20 what?
yeah.
2,600. I'm like, what? Y'all about to make me tap into other reserves that I not explain or want. That's it. PFL about that other room.
The PFL
Oh,
prices
we
are-
didn't put you on the PFL block. Put me on the block. That's it. We got interviews this morning from same old, same old.
Yeah, pretty much.
He said it'll be here in 30 seconds. Oh, let me get my story ready, huh? Interview time. Waiting on me, waiting on the bad man team. That's my fault. I got to be more privy to him wanting his stories. Do I need headphones for this one? Did I have headphones last time? Y'all just, that's why you got the JBL. I can hear them from there.
Yeah.
See, this new school shit is over my head.
You ready to take a question?
Oh, they want to see my pretty smile. They want to see my pretty smile.
Dan, start us off with old Bubba Bad Man.
Hey, Bubba, great to see you. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. Thank you for having me. Thank you for being a part of the new PFL show. And we ready to go.
So yeah, last minute opponent change in this one. How has that affected your approach Friday?
It pisses me off. It always pisses me off. I can't stand when we've been training and focusing. What's up, Dewey? What's up, Twilight? Yeah, I'm a teacher. I'm gonna show y'all the secret elevator. There's one that nobody knows about. Anyways, I hate when they change the opponent because we're focused on a lot of tendencies. We're focusing on weaknesses. We're focusing on things that my opponent does badly that I do well. And then, they change it in the last, this time was even later than the last change. So they changed it basically in the last week and we got to deal with that. So I hate opponent changes, but when we're ready and we're war ready for pretty much anything that the opponent may bring, when the opponent changes, we're pretty much ready for that too. So, that's the case. We just don't like to change. Give me the same person that I can work for 8 weeks and y'all see the best bad man you can see. But we make changes, we adapt on the spot, and we roll with the punches.
So are there any similarities and tendencies that you can see between Ronaldo and Saba?
Absolutely not. None. He's 5'6". The other dude he's 5'9". The other dude's 5'6". He does spinning back kicks, darces, and guillotines. And the German guy did not do any of those things. So yeah, it's a complete change night and day.
Awesome. And last time you fought, you hurt your eye towards the end of it. Did that affect your training camp at all? Is there anything you had to do differently?
We didn't let Twilight Timmy punch on me as much as he likes to, as far as my camp goes. So in the beginning, we had to keep the young bull off my face a little bit. But after that, it was mostly about foot. I jammed my foot up a little bit, which most people didn't know. But for the most part, man, we had the regular camp and we kept it cool the whole way through.
And then the last thing for me with the featherweight division in a deadlock at 3 points towards the top. Is that affecting your game plan at all going into this, knowing that you might need bonus points?
No, the game plan is always to get him up out of there. I believe last time, if I was in a position to have to get Kyle Boshiak out, I would have done it. Like if it was this round and I know everyone's got 3 and someone just got a knockout or someone just got a bonus, and then I put Boshiak on his butt the first time, then I would have been more privy to trying to get that guy out of there with the next couple rounds or the next couple punches. But since that's not the case, and we'll see what it looks like tomorrow or on Friday, we're going to make sure that we do the right things. But the goal is always to knock him out, and I believe I can with this guy.
Awesome. Thank you.
Ben.
Hey, Bubba, it's been almost a decade since your coaching staff spot on The Ultimate Fighter. What are some of the biggest ways you've changed since then?
Man, I'm not the wrestler that I was then. I was coming fresh out of college, fresh off of, just kind of learning MMA and, being under the tutelage of John Jones and those guys and having different management. I would say a whole lot has changed. Almost everything has changed. I'm a much better striker. I'm a much better wrestler for mixed martial arts now. I'm much more dedicated and focused on the task at hand, and I got way more children to feed.
I love it. Now, in your last fight, again, it was all going great until that eye was damaged. Can you detail the thoughts going through your mind when you were unable to see out of your right eye?
Line them up, put them in a scope, and get them out of there. That was really the focus. I wouldn't say that things changed.
Was there no nerves
Coach wants
at all?
to make sure. Coach wants to make sure y'all know I got poked. I didn't get damaged. I didn't get hit. I got poked. He wants y'all to know that our defense was sound enough to not have any random hits. But after he poked me in the eye, my focus was to just get him out of there, and I tried to line him up. Put him in my scope, the only scope that I had, and put the X on his face. And I really did. I felt like I hit him better in the third round with one eye than I did most of the fight, because I tagged him quite a few times in that third round after my eye was damaged. So that's for sure.
The Michael Bisping approach does seem to work. Now, you have spoken in the past about how your divorce affected your last performance. I was hoping we could get maybe an update on that and how you are emotionally coming into this one.
Sound, 100% sound, man. We let the outside of the cage things be the outside of the cage things, and that is more organized and more of a understood plan. And now the inside cage stuff will explode through my explode through my performance. You'll see a way more focus and way more sound Batman.
I love it. Best of luck, Bubba.
Thank you.
Daniel Levy.
Daniel Levy from Half the Battle here. Bubba, welcome to Atlanta.
Thank you. I like being here.
Yeah, how you liking it so far? How's the heat compared to Cali?
Well, I'm an East Coast cat, so me being in Virginia and coming out to Atlanta was something that we did kind of often. We love the festivities that Atlanta brings, so it's not that bad. I'm actually in Vegas now, so Vegas heat and California heat and Atlanta heat. That's 3 different types of heat, but nonetheless, I'm a bad man. I'm a fireman, so I bring all the heat regardless of where I go. So it doesn't matter.
So ATL is known for their rich history of best fights of all time have happened. Best knockout time have happened here. Do you like fighting in a place like this where MMA is so well respected and appreciated?
Absolutely. Anytime you can get a well-educated crowd, anytime you can get somebody or people who know how to, bring that energy to a certain event, anytime you walk into an event and you can feel the energy of the fans and the audience is a good thing. So if it's known for that, which I'm just now finding out, but if it's known for, having fighters be put on the show because of, the energy they bring, then you guys are in for a good night.
Oh, it's definitely known for that, man. Does the change bring you back to your wrestling days where you would just go up against anyone and everyone?
Does what bring me back to those days?
Your opponent change.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I don't really fret it too much. It pisses me off and it angers me. Obviously I don't blame the guy who got hurt, and it was just another opportunity I would take for if I was my opponent who just got the late call. But we're ready for anything and everything. When Coach Dewey says that you're ready, I don't even trust in my own thoughts about my own body, about my own preparation. If Dewey says I'm ready, he's seen more fights and more fighters prepare for fights than I have. So I go with what he says, and he says we're ready. Anybody can get it.
Lastly, the featherweight rings are the closest head-to-head of any division in the PFL. Do you feel like that $1 million is right there for the taking?
100%. I believe it's Batman versus Batman. I will be a world champion in the next 4 months. I will be a millionaire in the next 4 months, and I've been saying this for a while now, so it's almost inevitable in my mind.
I appreciate it. Welcome to Atlanta, and good luck Friday.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Darnell
Giovanni here with Mystic Black MMA. What's up, Bubba?
What's going on? I knew it was a brother. As soon as y'all said Darnell, I knew it was a brother.
Yeah, man. So this is your second card of the year. Your opponent, Kyle, is on the main card, but you're not on the main card. You think there's any issue there of you not being on any of these main cards? The crowd loves you. You bring that action every single time you're in that cage.
Man, like you said it, I didn't say it, but man, I've been thinking it. It's like, how do you not put one of the most exciting, one of the best interviewers, one of the best as far as, getting the crowd involved and just the things that I do inside the cage is TV warranted. I don't know why they continue, I guess to bring up the numbers for the ESPN Plus or whatever. I don't know what they're trying to carry me for, but I need PFL to get on it because this is ridiculous. So y'all gonna put a dude that I just smoked on the main card. I'm not understanding it, but we put on a show regardless. I put on a show during sparring. I put on a show in the back hitting mitts. I am a show. So I guess when PFL starts understanding that, we'll get on the big card. But until then, I guess I got to be a world champion to be on the big card or something. But we in negotiation. This contract year, we're gonna do the things we need to do inside the cage, and then when it gets to that table, I'm sure Ali Abdelaziz, the best agent in the game, is gonna give him that noise.
Hope to see you on that main card soon, Bubba. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Dave.
Hey, how you doing, Bubba? I'm going to piggyback off that. I was going that route too, my man. You are definitely, easily one of the most entertaining PFL fighters on the roster. Isn't important for you to not even become the face of the division, almost one of the faces of the whole brand of the organization. Is that important to you?
Absolutely. I want to carry the brand. I want to carry who I am. I have declined other organizations' contracts and things like that, and then I believe it's because of my, my ability to speak, my ability to entertain and still put on good shows. And I guess I can say there were some bad performances last year. So, I give them that leeway to be like, oh, let's put them on the undercard. But honestly, man, every time I hit the big screen, every time I hit the big shows, I put on a great performance. So, I'm trying to calculate what I need to do differently. But, I guess the suplexes and the sitting them on their butt with these punches ain't doing enough. So, we need to get some knockouts out of there, maybe get a little bit more hungry. Me and Dewey worked on a little blood in the water techniques to try to put people out once we hurt them. So, we're going to try to get that done this time. And, I guess maybe with putting them out and then saying what I need to say afterwards will get me on a bigger show, on a bigger card.
Gotcha. And then after your win on Friday, you have any summer plans with the family? What you got? Anything big coming up in July?
I like that you said that. You already know how I'm feeling after the win on Friday. I do plan on going to Disney World, but I got to calculate it out because my baby's I'll be going to go get my babies right after the fight, and then Disney World ain't a 2-day thing. When I'm trying to do it, I'm trying to really have a really good time. So I'm a space it out so I can maybe even do it early, or maybe after I win the million. We hook up with Disney World and do some kind of VIP type thing, but definitely plan on having a great summer this year.
Get that fast pass. It's worth it at Disney. Get the fast pass.
All right. I'm on it.
Gotcha.
Trevor.
Hey, Bubba, Trevor Ritchie with the HITP Network. As the bad man, better than anyone that not exactly anyone can qualify for that kind of nickname, right? So I just wanted to know if you made a Mount Rushmore, 4 fighters, past or present, each of them have to qualify as a quote unquote bad man. Who would those picks be for you?
Man, got to go with John Jones. Got to go with Uriah Faber. He was a big influence for the little guy back in the day. His swag was a swag that everybody wanted to be like, as far as really good striking and really good wrestling. So got to go John Jones, Uriah Faber, and you got to put the OG Dewey Cooper in there. Black Cobra striking systems. I'm biased, so I'm definitely putting him on my Rushmore. And so we got the skinny guy, we got the little guy, we got the big guy and Dewey. And then you put a wrestler in there. Let me see, who's the best wrestler in the MMA game? Dewey, who is the best wrestler in MMA?
The best wrestler in MMA.
I guess you can go. Let's go with Couture. Shout out PFL. Let's go with Randy Couture. Yeah, I like my Rushmore. John Jones, Uriah Faber, Dewey Cooper, and Randy Couture. Put them on the board. That's what I like. I like all of those choices. Very good.
I wasn't exactly expecting you to leave yourself off that one.
Oh, well, I'm not gonna put myself in there just yet. I'm still writing my story. They just now chiseling the bricks. I'm still in the game, baby. I'm only talking about the guys that undid it and showed me how to do it until this point. But I'll put myself up there a little bit later because of all of it. I think the Mount Rushmore not only goes with your performance and then what you do in the cage, but who you are and how you carry yourself, how you interview, how the people like you, how the fans accept you, things like that. I believe is a totality of who you can be in the mixed martial arts world. So at the end of the day, when the book is written, I'm gonna definitely be on the Mount Rushmore, at least.
Respect, Bubba. Thanks. Best of luck.
No doubt.
Max.
How you doing, Bubba? This is Max Going with the Going Live Network. Thanks so much for taking the time, man.
No doubt.
I just had a quick question, kind of jump back to one of the original questions. You mentioned how the change in opponent is annoying after 8 weeks of preparation. How do you prepare for a guy after you've essentially finished your training camp?
You just look at his tendencies and you try to capitalize on the things that you've already been working on. You try to, implement a little bit of conditioning towards maybe weakening that guy because he just got a short notice. And the biggest thing about it is the mentality. I know that I've been in the field hunting and looking for a kill, and that guy's kind of been sitting on the couch. Even though I know when I've been sitting on the couch, it's not as real when they don't give me an opponent yet. Until they give me an opponent, until I know who I'm fighting, that's when it becomes real. So these guys who kind of get the late notice, I implement the mentality of he has not been in the field in the dirt hunting like I have. So that's the only change. That's the only thing I try to implement.
Definitely understandable. And kind of piggyback off that real quick. I mean, this is his first fight in the regular season format. Do you think that's going to affect him a little bit, maybe with nerves or anything like that?
I mean, he's fighting a bad man. That's going to always make a nigga nervous.
That's very true. I appreciate the time, man. Good luck on Friday.
No doubt.
Mills.
What's going on, Bubba? It's MMA Locker Room, part of Pub Sports Radio.
What's up?
Last time speaking to you, I asked you, man, what was the good word of the day? You said Batman. So I'm going to rephrase that same question. What's the good word of the day?
Knockout. Big points. Big six. Pick six.
Knockout.
Quick six. Knockout. That's the word.
I like it. One other thing, man. I was reaching out to one of the guys you used to train with back in the day, Shane Faze, on fight tips and everything like that. Man, what would it take to see him to come out and corner you in one of these events?
Him in the trenches with me. I don't just put anybody in my corner, man. So, I love what we did with fight tips, and everybody all around the world always tells me how much they noticed me or seen me or loved my videos with him. Awesome dude, awesome techniques. I think he's doing a great thing with his YouTube, but you got to be in the trenches with me. You got to be shooting in the gym with me when it comes to being in my corner. I don't just be thinking that the corner is a light thing. You need that warrior who's been there with you, to look you in your eyes and tell you truths or tell you things to motivate you. So, I would take a lot, but he'd have to be there with me on the grind.
Got it. Like Kobe said, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym, right?
Truth.
All right, man. Good luck, man. You all know you're going to turn some heads out there in Atlanta.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Turn up coming.
Any last questions for Bubba?
Smacked it.
All right. Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Batman, thank you, man.
No problem. Thank you, guys.
Right next door.
Sorry I was late. I'm always late. Y'all gotta expect that. All right, let's do it, Dewey. Next door.
Ooh, thank you, Dewey. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
All right, guys, we got Renan coming. If you have questions for Renan, please raise your hand. Do you fit?
Big problem.
Ben, kick us off.
Hey, Renan, your entry into MMA was through a social project in your hometown. Do you plan on eventually starting your own social projects for kids who are in similar spots that you were in?
A sua entrada na MMA foi através de projeto social, né? Como você contou pra gente.
Isso.
Faz parte do seu plano eventualmente começar o seu projeto social?
Sim, isso sempre foi um sonho. Eu sempre gostei de trabalhar com criança, com projeto social e dar a oportunidade que eu tive também, né?
Absolutely. This has always been a dream of mine. I've always liked working with kids, and to be able to offer them an alternative and offer them a route to follow their dreams, this is a top priority for me.
I love it. Now, there is so much hype behind you, the size, the finishes. So many people are talking about you. Do you feel like you were destined to have this spotlight and momentum in the sport?
Muita gente fala muito, né, da sua altura, do seu alcance, do seu poder de nocaute. Você sente que, entendeu, já você foi predestinado a ter sucesso no MMA?
Eu acho que assim, acho que eu nasci pro MMA. As coisas foram acontecendo e o meu caminho foi traçado para chegar até aqui. Então, e hoje eu me sinto muito bem, sinto muito preparado para estar aí nos maiores eventos do mundo.
Yes, I felt like I was born and raised for this. Just based on my physical attributes and my hard work, I feel like I'm right where I need to be.
And last one for me, Renan. Ray Sefo briefly broke down how a matchup between you and champion Bruno Cappelozza might go. How do you see a fight between yourself and Bruno going?
Como é que você vê uma potencial luta entre você e o Bruno?
O Bruno é um excelente lutador, um cara muito explosivo, né? Assim como eu, ele tem muitas qualidades, então eu acho que uma luta entre a gente vai ser um espetáculo.
Bruno has a lot of. Bruno's a tremendous fighter. He has the heavy hands, just like myself. Very explosive, very fast. I think a fight between the two of us would be a spectacle.
Love it. Best of luck.
Daniel Levy.
Renan, welcome to Atlanta.
Thank you.
How you like it here so far?
Tá gostando daqui?
Muito. O clima é muito parecido com o clima do Brasil, então estou me sentindo em casa.
Very much so. The climate here is very similar to the one back at home, so I feel at home.
Now, is it nice fighting in a place like this with such a rich history of fights? I mean, some of the best fights of all time have happened here. Some of the best knockouts of all have happened here. Is it nice to fight in a place where MMA is truly loved and appreciated?
Como é que você se sente lutando num lugar que aprecia, né, as artes marciais? Muitos grandes combates aconteceram aqui. Você consegue sentir isso?
Aqui estou sentindo uma energia muito boa, né? Estou muito bem, muito feliz. Isso é o que é importante. Essa vibe, essa energia positiva que eu estou sentindo vai me ajudar muito a buscar o que eu quero, que é a vitória.
Yes, absolutely. I love it out here. I love the energy. I feel great. Everything's been going smoothly. These are all the perfect ingredients for a great fight.
And you're 6'8", 260 pounds with an 85-inch reach. And usually with guys that are that, there's a trade. For example, Stefan Struve and Alexander Volkov are very tall, but kind of on the slower side. You're very tall, but you're also a very explosive athlete. Do you represent the next generation of
os outros pesos pesados de muita altura no que tem no MMA, o Stefan Struve, o Volkov, eles, entendeu, tem toda essa altura, tem a mão pesada, mas não são rápidos. Você, entendeu, é diferente, você tem essa velocidade. Você sente como se você fosse assim, a nova geração?
Com certeza, com certeza. Eu sempre gostei de esporte, né? Pratiquei vários tipos de esporte. Eu acho que isso me deu uma coordenação motora diferente e isso me ajuda muito, essa velocidade que eu tenho, essa explosão, em estar conectando bons golpes e trazendo resultados positivos.
Yes, that's for sure. I personally feel like, considering the fact that I've always been a sports practitioner, not only mixed martial arts, but I've always been into sports. That kind of helps me, keep up with my speed.
And lastly, man, it's been a while since we've had Team Nogueira Heavyweight on the scene. Exciting representing a team like Team Nogueira that has such a legendary history in the sport.
Última pergunta dele. Faz tempo que a gente não tem peso pesado, entendeu, de porte, assim, vindo da Team Nogueira. Como é que você se sente representando uma equipe lendária?
Então, para mim é um prazer muito grande. Eu treinei com o Rogério, com o Rodrigo, são ícones, são lendas do esporte, né? E poder fazer a minha carreira junto aos caras que fizeram história no MMA, para mim é um privilégio muito grande.
Oh my God, it's an honor to be able to represent the two of them. I've trained with Big Nog and Little Nog. They're icons of the sport. They're legends of the game. So being able to keep up with their legacy from the gym, it's a big honor for me.
Thank you, Renan. Boa sorte, irmão.
Obrigado, irmão.
Ben.
I already asked my questions.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Dan.
Renan, you showed off some pretty devastating ground and pound after you dropped Jamel Jones. Will there be any hesitation in following Klidson into the ground, knowing how good he is with his jiu-jitsu off his back?
Você, enfim, não teve problema nenhum em seguir com o ground and pound aí nas suas últimas lutas, né? Depois de derrubar o oponente. Você sente que pode ser que você hesite um pouco mais em seguir com o ground and pound contra um cara como o Klidson depois de derrubado, visto, entendeu, o nível do jiu-jitsu dele?
Não, eu analiso muito o ocorrido ali do momento, né? Como que o meu adversário tá, porque eu não acho necessidade em conectar mais alguns golpes se ele já tiver, se a luta já tiver finalizada, se ele já tiver nocauteado. É um trabalho e eu quero vencer, mas sem causar muitos danos ao meu oponente.
I'm not sure. I mean, it's all about assessing the situation and seeing how I can protect myself as well as my opponent. At the end of the day, this is a job. We're both here to work. There's no need for me to, inflict damage further other than what's needed to stop the fight. So looking forward to just protecting myself and him upon the, within reason.
And with the bonus points in your first result, it seems like a win will be enough to clinch the playoffs. Are you still going to be out there looking for a finish, looking for those bonus points, even though you know that you could play it safe and still make the playoffs?
Você atualmente com 6 pontos aí, qualquer tipo de vitória já te garante uma vaga nos playoffs. Você, mesmo assim, vai estar procurando uma luta rápida, como as últimas duas?
Com certeza, com certeza. A via rápida me daria menos chance de me lesionar, né, para o próximo evento. Então, com certeza, eu vou estar buscando a todo momento a luta.
Yes, absolutely. Still gunning for the quick finish. A quick night in there means I get to leave the cage with no major damage, and I can just start focusing on the next fight.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Renan. Thank you for your time today. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, is there a bunch of places? Nice. Close?
Right there. Yep. All right, guys, we got Chris Wade. Please raise your hand if you have questions for Chris. Ben, go ahead and start us off.
Hey, Chris, obviously Father's Day was not that long ago, and you recently posted about how Haley's growing up so fast. As a father, can you detail the emotions associated with having that time fly by?
Yeah, it was a bittersweet week. I love fight week, but she is moving up where we live. She's going to be going to another school. So this was the end of the school that she currently attends. I wasn't able to be there this morning for her moving up ceremony, but it's a beautiful thing. I've had some coaches in the past and some just some other guys around the gym that are dads just tell me to really embrace it when they're young because it goes so quickly. And rather than to yes them to death and ignore it, I try to like really listen to them and embrace it. And when we spend time together as a family, I try to make sure that I soak it in because I mean, I feel like every week she's getting bigger and I could see it visibly now. Like it's like you grew. What's happening? She's becoming like a little young woman already, and I know I'm gonna blink again, and she's gonna be in high school. So just trying to enjoy this last stage of her being like a little kid, and because it truly does go quick.
Does she have any plans on maybe training MMA, hopping on the mats ever, or you're gonna keep her out of that, have her do her own thing? Where's your head at on that one?
Yeah, so as of right now, she says that she wants to be a fighter one day. And I do let her come to my gym and attend some of the youth classes that I have. She hasn't been going of late because she hasn't been expressing like interest to me. Um, but when she re-expresses that interest to me, I'll let her go back into it. I do want her to be a woman who is tough and can defend herself and knows submissions and knows grappling so that a bigger person is she could still find her way around God forbid any situation she may get herself into and need it. But as far, I'm not going to push her to fight if it's something she really aspired toward. I feel like who am I to tell somebody no when I went and did it? It's like that's not really the right thing to do. So it's one of those like we'll cross that bridge when we get there deals.
Can you talk about your business, Long Island Strong, and maybe some of the unanticipated struggles or challenges of being an entrepreneur?
Sure. Yeah. Long Island Strong was started with a couple of other South Shore friends of mine. Right at the beginning of my MMA career, I would say we got going around 2015, 2016. And the whole premise of the company is just we're really proud of where we come from. We're proud of being born and raised on Long Island. And the company just tries to shine a light on that. We try to make apparel that people who come from there can wear and be proud to represent where they're from. We try to support local charities in our area. We try to support our local small businesses because we have on Long Island a lot of big box stores that beat up the little guys. So the challenges are to compete with companies like a Target or a Walmart that's around the corner when you're selling just some gear for Long Islanders. So we try to band together and strengthen numbers type of deal. And that's basically the premise of Long Island Strong.
Going to bat for the underdogs. Best of luck, Chris.
Thank you.
Max.
How you doing, Chris? This is Max going from the Going Live Network. Good to talk to you again.
Hey, what's up, Max?
Doing well, man. You were very open about how you stayed motivated during the off season and then had a beautiful performance in your first fight. Does it give you any extra confidence knowing you've essentially reached another gear in your preparation?
Yeah, my confidence continues to grow like literally by the week. I don't know what's happening exactly with me. I know that it's hard work and I know that it's a good mentality, but I didn't even expect to be making some of the gains that I'm making in striking and in my transitional game. It really feels like I'm leveling up as a fighter every time I go in there, and beating the two-time PFL champ first go round feels amazing as compared to my first fight at 45 last year against Anthony Dizzy, which he was a tough guy, but I mean, that was a tough fight for me to get going in. And right now, I just feel like I'm firing on all cylinders. My mind is right. My body hasn't been healthier in years. And I'm ready to wear this belt, man. I'm ready to take it back home.
Yeah, you seem laser focused, if I'll be honest. So I'm just going to ask you about your opponent. What do you see in his game, and what do you think you have to neutralize in order to win?
Yeah, listen, Kyle's a veteran. He's one of the tougher guys that I've seen in my weight class. You can't get him out of the cage early often, or some at all. I didn't even really look at his record too deep, but you know, if you look at me, what my track record is, I kind of negate all of that because you can't get me out of there either. I'm one of the toughest guys in the weight class in the world as well. So my mentality is it really this year just doesn't matter who's in my way, who they lock me in the cage with. I'm coming home with that belt.
Really looking forward to you fighting on Friday, man. Good luck. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Max.
All right. Hoshan Montesino from LLO and JMC Productions. After an amazing win over Palmer, dominating him for 3 rounds, who do you think is your biggest threat to become the new champion?
I don't really look at it like, I don't try not to use the word threat. But you know, there's a couple of tough guys in the division that they're not easy fights. You know, Shaymon's fighting really well right now. Bubba's fighting well right now. I think those 2 guys are the ones who have proven that they're also clicking right now, along with myself. But I think I'm ahead of them as far as my athletic ability, what I could do with my grappling, and how I've been striking. So those 2 guys are showing that they're having a good season right now. But I still think it's me.
Thank you. Dan Anklepick.
I like that name.
Dan?
Yep. Sorry.
Yep. All right.
I was muted. So you share a past opponent with Kyle. What have you learned from his matchup with Bubba versus your fight that you had last season?
Well, we watched that fight, and what I was able to take away from it is that, you know, Bubba looked good on his feet. He looked comfortable, and he's a lefty. I switch stances a lot, all the time in the fights. So I think that he struggles a little bit with southpaws, if I had to be honest with you. So I'm going to look to attack and work from both sides, but to try to trick him so he doesn't know which stance that I'm even in the moment when I strike. I think that picking my spots and just keeping things simple from what I saw in the fight between Kyle and Bubba is the recipe to win there. Try not to do anything too wild, too crazy, and get yourself out of position, because Kyle's a really good fighter who doesn't make too many mistakes. So there's no reason to be putting myself in a spot that he could take advantage of for no reason.
Awesome. And with the top end of the division all deadlocked at 3 points, is there anything different about your approach to this fight, knowing that the bonus points might be a big factor?
You know, I've been around the block with this league. This is my 4th season now, so I don't think that these bonus points play as much as people want them to. In the heavyweight division, sure, because you got a 6, a 5, whatever the case may be. But when you got all 3s and just go handle your business, you know, fight your fight, try to get the guy out of there, try to finish your fights like you always would. I'm the last fight of the night though. So with that, out of the featherweights. So with that being said, I'm going to know what lies in front of me. I'll know what I need to do in order to secure my spot in the playoff.
And so you said that, are you coming in with kind of 2 different game plans depending on where you sit, or is it just all one, get your job done and that's it?
Well, I mean, look, if something happens in like 4 dudes, score some crazy points, then yeah, we'll be ramping it up to gamble more and take more chances to get him out of there. But if all we need to do is win, then why do stuff like that could put you in a spot where then you lose that bout.
And do you enjoy this added aspect of the PFL season, or would you rather it just be win your fights and continue?
I'd rather it be win your fights and continue. I don't think that it's hard enough to cut weight and be a professional athlete and fight the toughest guys in the world. Adding in all this stuff where you need to get a finish by the 11th minute, to move forward and upward. Just asking a lot of people, but that's the format that they have running, and I respect that. So we'll play within those rules.
Thank you. Good luck Friday.
Thanks.
Daniel?
Welcome to Atlanta.
Thanks.
How you liking it here so far, man?
I love it. I've been here before. My girlfriend was living here for a while, so when we were a long distance, I would come down here and visit her, and I always enjoyed it. She was up in the Midtown area, like Piedmont Park and stuff, so I'm familiar with going there. I've been to the aquarium. I've been to Georgia Tech Clemson football game. Kind of tried to take in all the sites. So this is the third time I've been down here, and I enjoy Atlanta.
So you're feeling right at home then?
Yeah, I'm used to it. I'm out there pretending I know what I'm doing. I know where I am.
So the rankings are the closest head-to-head any division in the PFL. Do you feel like that $1 million is right there for the taking, Chris?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I feel like this is my year. I feel like I'm not concerned about the points or anything like that. I know that I'm a big problem for everybody in this division. I know that I'm firing on all cylinders right now, and it's just about handling your business one step at a time.
Chris, you've been right there every season. What makes it different for you?
Hard work and growth and perseverance. That's what makes the difference. Is some guys, they expect a different result, but they keep rolling out the same work ethic. They keep rolling out the same mental attitude. They keep rolling out the same approach to fights. When I don't succeed, I go back to the drawing board and I look realistically at why did I fail? Where did I fail? And then I try to become a better me, a better version of myself. I'm not just in the gym, just throwing punches at a bag, hoping that things change. I'm literally sitting down, breaking down the fights where I lost and trying to remove weaknesses out of my game overall. So the difference is that laser focus, like we were talking about earlier. I'm so hungry just from having never gotten it and being knocking at the door. And either sinks people or you rise to the occasion. And I'm just ready to rise to the occasion.
So I appreciate it. Best of luck and welcome back to Atlanta.
Thank you. Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you. The champ is here. Please raise your hands if you have questions for Bruno. Dave, go ahead and kick us off.
How you doing, Bruno? This is Dave here with Fight Bananas. Man, I've been seeing you all week on PFL promoting you. You're at the football fields, you know, you're on the merchandise, you're in the main event. How does it feel to have the organization really pushing you forward as one of the faces of the brand?
Eu tenho te visto a semana toda. Você estava no estádio de futebol, você estava fazendo propaganda das camisas, você está em todos os comerciais, você é o main event. Como é que está se sentindo aí sendo o carro-chefe aí da firma?
Bom, fico muito feliz por tudo que está acontecendo, pelo jeito que a empresa anda me tratando, ando sendo bem tratado, levaram para conhecer um pouco aqui da cidade, então estou muito feliz, estou muito bem preparado e focado para a minha luta também.
I feel honored. It's very grateful. It's awesome to see, you know, my hard work paying off. And I mean, per usual, PFL is treating me greatly. Nothing but love out here.
Absolutely. And last one for me is it's hard. You know, a lot of the opponents and a lot of the heavyweights earlier so far today is talking about points and trying to get enough points to move on. And with you having, you know, good points already to start, is it difficult to try to change up, or do you have to go into a fight? Every fight is individual. If 6 offers itself to you, get the 6. If you got to go 15 minutes, you get 15 minutes. How is it to make sure you get enough points to move on, but also, you know, kind of play it safe in a way?
Muita gente aqui falando de estratégia, né? Eu tô precisando os outros pesados, tô precisando de 6 pontos, precisando de 5. Preciso que isso aconteça, que aquilo você tá com 6 já, entendeu? Bem posicionado. É difícil mudar a estratégia de uma luta para outra. Ou você está sempre procurando 6 pontos e não importa o que a necessidade?
Bom, na verdade eu não procuro 6 pontos, né? Meu estilo de jogo é um jogo agressivo, então eu busco a luta a todo momento. Se eu tiver que ganhar no primeiro, no segundo ou no terceiro, eu vou continuar tentando em todos os rounds. Então é um estilo meu e é por isso que a maioria das minhas lutas acaba aí por nocaute.
So I'm not really searching for the 6 points. It's just my style. It's just very dynamic, quick. Regardless of my standing and where I am in the playoff picture, I'm always coming for the quick finish.
Awesome. Good skill Friday, my man.
Max.
How you doing, Bruno? This is Max Going with the Going Live Network. Thanks so much for taking the time. Had a quick question about the fight. Your opponent obviously is going to need some first round points in order to get into the playoffs. Does that factor into your preparation at all? And are you expecting him to bring pressure early?
Seu oponente está precisando, né, dos 6 pontos para poder ter uma chance nos playoffs. Esse entendimento faz parte da sua estratégia para a luta?
Bom, com certeza a gente deu uma analisada já nisso, né? A gente sabe que ele vai vir pro tudo ou nada, mas estou muito bem preparado. Então é isso aí, estamos prontos para a luta.
Absolutely. We already know he's coming guns blazing, so we're ready.
And then one final one for me. That's 5 wins in the PFL in a row. Does your confidence increase with each win?
Tem 5 vitórias consecutivas aqui. A sua autoconfiança vem aumentando a cada vitória?
Bom, com certeza, e se Deus quiser eu vou buscar o bicampeonato aí.
Absolutely, and yeah, no doubt we're coming for the back-to-back championship.
Thanks so much, champ. Good luck on Friday.
Thank you, brother.
Daniel.
Bruno, Atlanta. How you liking it here, Bruno?
How's he liking it, Atlanta so far?
Tá gostando de Atlanta?
Pô, tô gostando bastante, tô conhecendo um pouco a cidade, conheço o estádio, um lugar maravilhoso.
Yeah, it's been awesome so far. The trip to the stadium yesterday was pretty cool.
So this city has a rich history. Some of the best of all time have happened here. Is it dignified and like MMA is so accepted and appreciated?
Você tá na cidade que tem uma história, né, longa aí com as artes marciais, entre boxe e MMA. Você consegue sentir isso aqui? Você consegue sentir que o pessoal aqui aprecia o seu trabalho?
Bom, com certeza estamos na frente do Círculo Olímpico aí. Para mim está sendo muito gratificante, estou feliz demais. E é isso.
Yeah, you can definitely feel it out here. We're right next to the Olympic Park. You can feel this energy.
So Bruno, you really fought Haska, and since that time, both of you be world champions. The cool you both accomplished since that fight.
Você lutou contra o Didi e desde então vocês dois são campeões mundiais. Que você, assim, qual o seu ver sobre o que vocês dois conseguiram conquistar desde aquela luta?
Bom, sempre vi o Didi como um grande nome aí para ser campeão do mundo também. Quem sabe um dia aí a gente faça uma super luta e eu tenha minha revanche. É isso.
Yeah, I mean, I see him as one heck of a fighter. I'm glad he's had success ever since our fight too, and I'm just hoping one day we can schedule a super fight so I can get my revenge.
So after winning the belt, it can be tough for a lot to find the motivation to do this again. What drives you to essentially become a two-time world champion?
Depois de ganhar o cinturão, enfim, não só o cinturão, mas em muitos esportes, né? Alguns times ou pessoas não conseguem encontrar motivação para fazer mais uma vez. O que te motiva?
Bom, me motiva toda vez que eu vou lutar, eu lembro de tudo que eu passei, desses 3 últimos anos aí. Na verdade, dos meus últimos 15 anos, né? Eu comecei numa cidadezinha muito pequena, com muitas dificuldades, e graças a Deus, a minha família, meu pai, eu consegui dar a volta por cima e vou continuar buscando para da onde ele estiver, ele vai estar cada vez mais orgulhoso de mim.
What motivates me is where I came from. It's my humble beginnings. I'll never forget that. And it's the last 15 years. And not only that, but it's my dad. It's his legacy, and knowing that wherever he is up top, he is looking down at me, and he's incredibly proud.
And lastly, Bruno, your opponent comes out, but he's been knocked multiple occasions. Do you see this as the perfect opportunity to get another first-round finish?
Can you repeat that, Dan? Sorry, Daniel.
Yeah. So Bruno opponent comes out guns blazing, but he's also been knocked on multiple occasions. To see this perfect opportunity to get another first-round finish.
O seu oponente, ele é cara agressivo, entendeu? Ele vai para porrada, mas em muitas situações ele também já, ao ir para porrada, se expôs e, entendeu? Foi nocauteado. Você vê isso como um atrativo aí para sua estratégia?
Bom, todos conhecem meu jogo, sabem que vai casar muito bem essa luta. Eu procuro a todo momento o nocaute e com certeza vou achar um erro no jogo dele. E, se Deus quiser, vou conseguir acabar a luta.
Yep, you guys all know my style. Very aggressive. I'm coming for the knockout at all times. I'll find a gap and I'll get the job done.
Valeu, boa sorte, irmão.
Thank you so much, brother.
Ben, the Bane.
Hey, Bruno, it's safe to say that your PFL journey has been, by all accounts, perfect. When you look back over the last 5 fights, is there anything that you would change?
Coisa que mudaria nas suas últimas lutas?
O que eu mudaria?
Alguma coisa que você mudaria na sua estratégia?
Bom, ando gostando muito do meu desempenho, ando treinando muito, buscando evoluir nas minhas partes ruins, nas minhas falhas. Então, acho que não mudaria nada, não. Tô com a cabeça muito boa, uma experiência muito boa. É isso aí.
I don't think so. I'm feeling great. Camp has been amazing. I feel a great mental space too. I feel like I'm developing in each fight, but I don't think there's anything that I would change in the past ones.
Does being the champion give you more confidence, or does it add more pressure to the fights?
Ser o campeão te dá mais confiança ou adiciona uma pressão?
Bom, igual eu ando falando, eu ando treinando muito, não apenas meu corpo, minha performance, mas também minha cabeça. Então, estou preparado para tudo. Com certeza o cinturão é um peso a mais, mas minha cabeça está muito boa, estou muito focado e estou muito motivado para ser campeão novamente.
I just look at it as motivation on both sides, really. It's the motivation of that comes with the pressure, and also the motivation that comes with the honor of being the champion. So, like I said, I'm in a great mental space and ready to go to work.
And last one from me, Bruno, you're a documented firearms specialist. I was curious, do you have a favorite gun that you like to shoot?
Bom, com certeza minha trocação. A arma? Pô, eu adoro fuzil. É o M4.
An M4.
Se alguma empresa de arma quiser me patrocinar.
If any gun brands want to sponsor me, I'll add.
Best of luck, Bruno.
Thank you, brother.
Josan Montesino from LLO and JMC Productions. Being one of the strongest heavyweights around the world, where do you position yourself in terms of the power in your hands and the knockout rate?
Como é que você se posiciona no ranking dos pesados, dado a seu poder de nocaute e a sua destreza?
Bom, não sendo desumilde, acho que eu estaria entre o top 5, top 10 do mundo aí. Tô uma performance boa, tô na minha melhor forma física, na melhor época da minha carreira, cabeça muito boa, uma experiência boa. Então acho que um top 10, top 5 aí.
I'm going to stay humble as always, but I'm in great shape, both mentally and physically. I put myself as a top 10, potentially a top 5.
All right. Any last questions for Bruno while we have him? All right, all good. Thank you, Bruno. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye, brother. Agora perguntar das armas.
All right, guys, we're bringing in Pettis. All right. Dave, kick us off.
What's up, Anthony? Dave with Fight Finesse. How you doing, my man?
Good, bro. How you doing?
Doing real good, man. First of all, congrats on those 6 points earlier, a couple weeks ago. I got one question for you. One easy question, I think. You got a beautiful family. You have a successful MMA promotion. I see your IG stories. You're doing good on the tables. You're doing, stacking things up nice. Why is Anthony Pettis fighting in PFL? Why is Anthony Pettis fighting in 2022?
This season's all about redemption, man. Last year didn't go my way, and I still love this sport. I think this sport's something that I was born to do. Fighting was something I was born to do. Knowing that I didn't give my all last season, it didn't go my way. So this season's just all about redemption for me, man. I'm trying to go out there and get this third belt.
Very cool, man. Anthony, good skill to you, my guy, and continued success.
Thanks, bro.
Trevor.
Hey, Anthony, Trevor Ritchie with the HITP Network. Obviously, that last win was your first since, I think, December 2020, as well as your first win in the PFL. So I'm just curious how that post-fight feeling after a win has changed compared to maybe, early WEC days or UFC days.
It feels exactly the same, man. That high that you get from winning a fight and especially when there's fans there, it changes everything. Having the fans in the audience was a game changer for me. Last season there was no fans in the audience; it was kind of quiet. So this season, having the fans there and having that motivation again, it just feels good.
Is there any aspect of the game that's maybe gotten harder for you at all in that respect? Like the ability to kind of find the same level of gratification or motivation in some of the things that maybe gave you that naturally earlier on in your career? Is that not an issue for you?
No, I don't think the motivation's ever been an issue for me, man. I train hard, I've always trained hard. It's just, the game's changing, guys are getting better. There's especially in this format. This format's totally different than anything I was used to. I treated last year like one of my old fights. I would do a 2-month training camp, have as much time as I needed off, and then go back to another training camp. But in this format, that's not how it works. You got to do the bulk of your training early in the season because this really is a season format. I'm fighting again in 6 weeks, so you got to be smart about your approach to these fights and how you train for these fights.
And you touched on the evolution of the game there a little bit. Where do you think these guys have evolved the most in this new age of MMA?
There's no more one-off practitioners. There's not one guy's straight good at grappling or straight good at striking. Everybody's good everywhere now. And there's no easy fights, in any organization, everybody's tough. Even in my fight show, when I see guys fighting in my fight league, I'm like, man, the level of competition is rising really, really quick.
Can you pinpoint when that changed in the game, you feel like? A time frame?
I think it's just gradually been happening, as more opportunities open for fighters, the popularity of mixed martial arts. When I was up and coming, there wasn't kids that wanted to be MMA fighters. Now there's kids that are starting at 5 years old that want to be a mixed martial artist. So that's kind of the change. I think kids are starting at a young age to do, the full spectrum of martial arts, from the grappling to the striking to the traditional martial arts as well.
Absolutely. And you were definitely a part of that as well. Thanks, Anthony.
Thanks, bro.
Ben.
Hey, Anthony, you said you've been open to boxing before and have been seen at Capetillo Boxing Gym quite often. Ironically enough, Clay Collard has had many boxing bouts under his belt. Would you see that as a fun first matchup if you were to go to the squared circle?
Yeah, honestly, I was disappointed that Clay didn't make the playoffs. That was one of the fights I definitely wanted to get back from last season. But yeah, man, Clay's nothing but respect for that dude. Honestly, that dude's a grinder. He has a great work ethic, and to see how his skill set is, it's a fun fighter to watch. I think everybody loves to watch Clay. So yeah, that would definitely be a fun fight for me.
Now, can you offer some words again, like you mentioned, your own fight promotion, APFC Midwest Invitational goes down August 12th. What are the differences being kind of the promoter on the behind the scenes of the MMA side of things?
It's out of your control. On this side, I control how if I make weight, how I make weight, how I perform. When it comes to promoting, it's kind of out of your control. You set everything up, and hopefully everything falls into place. And there's a lot of scrambling last minute that happens to make these things come together.
Now, your daughter's birthday was a week ago, celebrating 1 year. Congrats on that. Can you describe what it's been like seeing her grow up over the past 365 days?
We went by so quick, So she was born right before my last fight for the last season, and to be here right now, even when the birthday came up, me and my wife were like, man, that went by so quick. But to see her growing up and to see just that motivation alone, man, just that's just something that parents only know that feeling. When you have your kid and you're responsible for that life, and you got to take care of that kid, and she's just such a sweet little girl. It's just I'm blessed to have a family like I have.
Love it. Best of luck, champ.
Thanks.
Max.
How you doing, Anthony? This is Max going from the Going Live Network. How you doing, boss?
I'm good, bro.
I just had a quick question about the unique situation you're in right now. You've already made the playoffs, yet you're going in for the fight. Does that allow you to kind of just go out there and have fun, knowing no matter what happens, you're good for the next round?
Nah, you know what? I'm focused. I think last season, the way last season went makes me have a lot to prove this season. A fight's a fight. Anything can happen. I go out there and make a bad mistake and I get hurt and I'm pulled out of the tournament. So I gotta be on my P's and Q's. I gotta be smart. And I know the guy that I'm fighting, he needs the points to get in the tournament. So yeah, a lot of firsts for me in the PFL. I've never been in a situation where I know I got to fight in 6 weeks, and I'm guaranteed that fight. But I got this fight in front of me, so I'm trying to take it one fight at a time and just enjoying this process again.
Absolutely. And to mention your opponent for this fight, he was also in the UFC during your time there. Did you ever think you would cross paths with him? And what do you think about this fight coming up?
Yeah, he actually fought my teammate, Paul Felder. So, Duke Rufus has some experience cornering against him already and kind of game planning for him. And you know what? He wasn't on my radar in the UFC just because where I was at. I don't think he was top 10 at that time and when I was in the top 10. But anything can happen, man. He's here now and he's in front of me.
Absolutely. I appreciate the time, man. Good luck on Friday.
Thanks.
All right, I'm going to read a question from Josan Montesino from LLO and JMC Productions. How do you rate your performance against Miles Price?
I would say my performance was actually flawless. You know, I went out there patient. I didn't force anything. Even when I saw the opportunity, I hit him with that first uppercut, and I saw his eyes go back a little bit. And I kind of got a little hungry for the finish, and I was like, all right, calm down. I was right in my corner. I could hear my coaches. Yeah, I think it was a flawless performance. I came out of there with no injuries and got right back to work.
Awesome. And knowing the amazing history of your family, how do you feel to be able to represent the Latino community, especially Puerto Ricans around the world, and achieve all the success along the way?
Oh, it's amazing. You know, I think the Puerto Rican fans definitely get behind me and my brother, two brothers that are world champions. I don't think that's even been done yet in this sport. So, you know, it's already a huge accomplishment for us there. And then we're also fighting in New York City coming up. So I'm excited to go out there and perform in front of my fans.
Thank you. Daniel.
Anthony, welcome to Atlanta.
Thank you, bro.
How you liking it here?
Yeah, I like it, man. I went to the aquarium. I was just trying to kill some time. I'm out in the Olympic Park. I'm doing my running, and yeah, the weather's amazing, so I can't complain.
A rich history of combat sports, man. I mean, these fights of all time have happened here. Rod Evans versus Chuck Liddell, Dustin Poirier versus Matt Gastelum versus Israel Adesanya. Is it exciting to fight in a place like this where MMA well appreciated and respected?
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Not only that, the boxing history with the Olympics here that happened. You know, there's a lot of history in this place, and I've never fought here before. So yeah, I'm excited to be out there and perform in front of my fans out here.
Chain game is on point. Who's your jeweler?
Harry Glenberg from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. He's been my jeweler since I started.
So Anthony, you're the former lightweight champ, the former UFC lightweight champ, but you're not just a fighter. You opened your own barbershop. You've opened a sports bar. You've made a lot of good investments. What kind of message would you send to younger fighters about managing their money so they have something to show when their fighting careers are over?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I talk about this a lot with my fighters. You know, I also have fighters that are up and coming under me. You know, just managing your money and actually pursuing other things, because like fighting, you can only get 3 fights a year, 4 fights a year max if you're lucky, and not everybody's blessed with a long career like myself. I've been fighting since I turned 19, man. So I've been at it for a long time. So I had a lot of experiences with just straight focusing on fighting, other businesses, injuries that took me out for years at a time. So I think I would just suggest guys is obviously focusing on their fighting, make as much money as they can with their fighting, but then reinvest. Without them investments, you have no continuous streams of income. And I felt it, man. When I had a year off and I didn't have any other incomes, I felt that that's what maybe made them decisions to figure out how to make income other ways.
So you made your pro debut in 2007, and anytime and doing long, I can imagine it's easy to get burnt out, take breaks at times. How do you reach that flame and passion for this?
Yeah, I would say, man, the fighting it does it for you. This isn't like a sport that you play. You see it all the time, man. Guys lose their lives doing this sport and boxing and combat sports. So for me, the motivation is like, obviously being the best in the world, the best that I can be is the straight motivation, but like taking care of my body. I take pride in how my face looks after a long career. I don't have crazy cuts. I don't have bad looking face compared to some other guys. So my defense is something I really focus on. My coach taught me that, like if you want a long career, your defense has to be just as strong as your offense. So I think that's something I take pride in is how I look and making sure that my face looks the same after every fight.
You've accomplished everything in the sport. Do you feel there's a perfect crowning achievement and exit plan for your long and illustrious career?
No, I don't really think about an exit plan, man. I'm only 35 years old, so I think I did so much early in my career that people just remember me from the beginning of the sport, honestly. Like, when this sport became popular and social media just popped up, that's when I was, making my claim to fame. But I feel like I'm still hungry, I'm still motivated, I'm still training with some of the best in the world, and I know my skill set. I still have a lot more to prove.
Lastly, Anthony, Ray is a tough and experienced southpaw. And I mean, his game is pretty meaty. You know what he brings to the table. Is this a fight where you can take more risks and we'll get to see the signature Anthony Showtime and Flash?
You know what? This season format changes up all that. I said it in my last fight. I'm going to approach these fights a lot smarter. I don't want to go out there and force anything. If I see the opportunity, you bet I'm going for that. But I'm going to take this fight just like I said in the beginning of the season. I'm going to be smart. I'm not going to force any Showtime moves. I'm not going to try jumping off the cage unless the opportunity's there. And if it is there, of course, I'll take that. But I'm gonna be smart in these fights. I'm gonna try to snipe this guy from the outside. I don't think he's fought a striker like me with the dynamic movements and the things that I bring to the cage. So yeah, I think I'll be smart this fight.
Anthony, I appreciate it. Best of luck this Friday, and welcome to Atlanta.
Thank you, bro.
Dan Ankle Pick.
Hey, Anthony, there was a fun night of lightweights fight last Friday. Who impressed you the most?
Man, there was a lot of good fights on that fight. I mean, Alex Martinez, he did a great job fighting Clay Collard. Clay Collard, I know how tough that dude is and how much he brings it. So I think Alex Martinez fought a smart game plan, and Clay just got caught up in the grappling, man. I think if Clay would have, not pull out of that grappling and took it back to the striking, he would be in these playoffs. So yeah, I would say Alex definitely surprised me. I mean, OAM too as well, defeating Haoush, just a smart game plan, and he pretty much stayed, injury free. So I would say both of those guys that made the playoffs were pretty impressive.
You've talked a lot about being smart in your approach to this season, and you've also mentioned Capetillo boxing in your defense. Do you think that defensive boxing is what gives you that step ahead in terms of this season format and preparing for a long string of fights in a row?
Well, I think just training like a boxer, they really focus in on their cardio. They focus in on their weight being really close to weight and not cutting a whole bunch of weight. So changing my training's more like a boxer, more like a striker, and making it a personalized camp. I flew in my coaches from Brazil to Las Vegas. Duke Rufus from Milwaukee, lived in Las Vegas for a couple weeks at a time. So I think the camps were all about me. So I think that approach just made it a lot more safer of an environment, but also I learned so much more because these coaches are there during my training session. They're not splitting their time up with 20 guys. It's just all on me.
Awesome. And one of the last minute replacements for featherweight on this card, Aga Huskic, last fought on your promotion, Showtime FC, in February. I guess how cool is it knowing that your legacy in the sport is going to continue to grow long after you're no longer fighting and fully eclipse what you could just do as a fighter?
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up. I just sent that to my business partner yesterday. I was like, yo, that's already happening. That's exactly why I started my promotion, is because I wanted guys to have the opportunity to get to these big organizations coming off of my platform. And yeah, Argo was one of the first guys to go from APFC to a big show. So yeah, I mean, I definitely shows that I'm doing the right things.
Awesome. Thank you. Good luck Friday.
Thank you.
Mike Owens.
Hello, Anthony. Mike Owens here. I just want to ask first and foremost, do you feel like you're in the driving seat of this division, given everybody else has fought, and you almost need to, you almost know what you need to do?
Last year I felt like I was in the driver's seat, and I think that mindset just made me a little less humble, and I changed that up. I think, man, all these guys are tough. Anything can happen. I'm just more motivated and more just structured and humbled on being in this position, but also I know what I gotta do. So yeah, I'm in a good position, but man, anything can happen. We all know, MMA is a crazy sport, and anything can happen.
Of course. If the bracket stays the same as it currently stands, you'll face House Manfio in the semi-finals, the last guy to put an L on your record in what was quite a controversial loss. So how kind of tantalizing is it, the thought of potentially getting the rematch with Manfio and righting that wrong?
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted last year, was a rematch versus Manfio and Collard. Collard didn't make the playoffs this time, but the way it's lining up, looks like I get my rematch against Manfio. And again, I thought I won that first fight, but I'm not a judge, and it didn't go my way. He won his $1 million. Big ups to him. But I want that rematch. So I'm not gonna look forward to that fight yet till I get through Friday.
Of course. And just one final question, and I know you're not looking past Friday night, but should you get through and get to the playoffs, your next fight will be on English soil, or British soil, I should say. Now, I checked the records, and you've only previously fought outside the US on a couple of occasions, a couple of times in Canada, and I think the Joe Lozon fight down in Japan. But how tantalizing is the thought of fighting on British soil in potentially your next fight?
I was excited about it, but I found out we're fighting in New York City, August 5th. The lightweights and the I think the light heavyweights are fighting in New York City. So we'll August 5th will be New York City, and then the rest of the PFLs will be over in your guys' place. So yeah, I don't think I won't get that opportunity this year, but yeah, I definitely want to get over there, man. My coach fought literally on every continent, and that's something I want to be able to do too. Like before I'm done with the sport, to say that I fought around the world.
Maybe next time. Thanks, Showtime.
Maybe next time. Thanks, bro.
Trevor.
Hey, Anthony, one more from me. And I think someone brought this up earlier, but you're clearly an avid gambler, right? And seem to do pretty well at it, at least in our eyes, from what we see on your social media channels. So where did that passion grow over the years? And what's your biggest win?
Yeah, bro, I've always gambled, honestly, but I live in Las Vegas. So it's, I mean, whenever I get that itch, I can just drive to the strip and play. My biggest win, I've won six figures, a lot. You know, I won, I think 2 weeks ago, I won 120,000 from roulette and blackjack. Cosmopolitan is one of my favorite places to gamble. But yeah, I'd say 6 figures is pretty normal wins for me. I do have my losses too. Everybody's like, post your losses, but I mean, how do you post a loss? You know, an empty table with no chips, like it doesn't really make sense. But yeah, I think over the years, I just got better at my gambling. You know, I treat it more like a business than just a pastime. A lot of people go gamble and they drink and they want to have fun with it and make it a fun thing. For me, I go there and I'm trying to beat the casino. Hanging out with Dana White, honestly, showed me the key ways to gamble. That dude's a avid gambler and he's good at it. So, you know, seeing the way he did it is kind of where I'm trying to pursue.
What about sports betting specifically? Is that also something that you do as often as blackjack, roulette? And what's your biggest win there?
Yeah.
Other sports as well, not just fights.
Everything, bro. I bet on everything. So I actually have a guy in Las Vegas, big bag betting that I pay for my picks, you know, and Las Vegas is a pretty normal thing. You know, literally everybody that lives in Vegas sports bets, I would say. You know, every time I go to lunch with any of my friends, we're talking about sports and, you know, what good bets there are and, you know, all that stuff. So yeah, I mean, I love it. You know, it's another way of making money. And you know, as long as you're structured with it and you're not crazy with it, you know, it's a fun time.
You ever bet on yourself?
No, I never bet on myself.
Thanks, Anthony.
Thanks.
Any more questions for Pettis while we have him here? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Going once, gone. All right. Thanks, Anthony. Appreciate you. If you'll just head right next door.